Okay, Alex, I've got your sound. Yeah, brilliant. I can see you now. Well, I can see.
Yeah.
We can see part of you. You need to hang your iPad from a different angle.
Don't you want to use the step ladder?
No, I'll stay here because I'm gonna. Right.
It's possibly the most interesting angle that we've had for one of the speakers so far.
No.
So, are you ready, Alex?
Yes,
So
I'm
off we
ready.
go with the next 10 minutes then. So here's Alex Purcell, also of IH Cordoba, and her 10 minutes are about using Edmodo. Good luck.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm going to talk about my experience of using Edmodo with students. First of all, to give a general introduction of what Edmodo is, if you don't know, it's a social learning platform which facilitates interaction between students and teachers outside of the classroom. Edmodo has been dubbed the Facebook of education, and as you can see, it has a very similar visual layout. I think this is a huge benefit, possibly in comparison to other similar apps, because of course these days everyone is familiar with Facebook. I was able to introduce Edmodo to my students and they just began to use it instinctively. So some of the similarities include being able to send messages, post links, write comments, but a really big difference is that it's safe, which is an extremely important point to consider, especially if you're thinking of using Edmodo with young learners. So the teacher is able to set up a group and is provided with a code which students have to enter in order to join the group. In other words, no outsiders can see what is posted. The teacher can delete any messages if they deem them to be inappropriate. Students cannot send private messages to each other, so therefore have two options. They can send direct messages to the teacher, or they can send messages which then the whole group can see. No email addresses are shared at any point, only a username which each student chooses themselves. And after an initial sign-up period, the group is locked, so no extra students can join unless the teacher gives permission. Also, an optional access code to give to parents is available as well. So I'll just go through that. Okay, so using Edmodo on mobile devices. One of the things which I think makes Edmodo so accessible to use and easy is the fact that it's available on any internet-enabled device. I've been mostly using it on the iPad, and in fact the updated version of the Edmodo app works and acts just like the browser version does. I receive any notifications as they come through, and as almost all students have smartphones these days, they can log in anytime and from anywhere. Regarding the iPad in particular, it's very easy to upload screenshots, photos and videos from the iPad. It takes away time restrictions of class time, and basically students are learning from the comfort of their smartphone. Okay, personalised learning. Another great feature is that because each student can only see their own group's activity, everything they do is relevant and personal to them, to their peers and to their level. Students can ask questions between classes. I've mainly used Edmodo with adult groups, and they have each used it with varying regularity, but those who've used it often and have really got into it have said they've got a lot out of it. One of my groups, for example, I only see once a week, so it can feel like a long time between classes. So it's great to have a means of them being able to ask questions about homework, any doubts they've got between classes. It also means that as a teacher, I can respond to individual queries, students receive personal attention, and it doesn't eat into actual lesson time. One particular group is set to be taking their FC exam this June. So lately we've been sharing links to exam practice websites. Also, I've been posting exercises which they have been working on together online. They've started discussions about them, often chatting to each other and discussing answers without me even necessarily being involved. So it really lends itself to student-centered activities in that way. Okay.
Have we lost the sound, or is it just me? Okay, she's probably just crashed a little minute. Lisa, can you pause the recording?
Okay, so organisation for teachers. You can see on this slide that there's a system where you can create events and to remind you and your students about things like class tests, homework deadlines, exam sign-up dates, things like that. I started using Edmodo in January, February this year and created different groups for different classes. It's really easy to keep them separate. Classes don't get confused. Each group also has their own code, so it's really easy to stay organized. Okay, so Edmodo also allows teachers to connect with other teachers. So from a professional development point of view, it's great. You can share ideas, see what other teachers are doing, keep up to date with the latest teaching news, resources, etc. Okay, correcting students' work. You can see here, for example, that students can upload a piece of writing, for example. I can view it on Edmodo and then also annotate it before sending it back. So unlike returning the piece of work in class, which may mean the end of the feedback process as the student simply puts it away, carry on with the lesson, etc., using Edmodo allows the student to question any of the teacher's comments, correct any mistakes, and even though it isn't face-to-face, I actually think this way is much more beneficial and interactive. So to finish, to summarize my experience of using Edmodo, it's been very positive. I started using it when I started using an iPad, so I was getting used to the device and the app at the same time. I'd expected it to be more complicated, but in fact it was very user-friendly and easy to use. The students I've used it with have become notably more motivated, are producing more work and interacting far more in English than they would if they were still, let's say, limited to the hours of their lesson time. It's taken away the time restrictions of a class, so they're interacting in a much more natural way. They can post things that they're interested in, which is great for their motivation. And the virtual learning environment which Edmodo creates and the way that the students interact with technology outside the classroom has led to more efficient and productive use of time inside the classroom, and without a doubt has enhanced student learning. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Alex. Well done for coping with the freeze in the middle of that. I found that a very useful overview of Edmodo. As somebody who's dabbled with it, but still remain to be convinced of it. You gave me some very interesting facts there. Thanks a lot, and there's a good, nice